You know, I was worried about you. I was thinking like when like you would call mommy and she said she would feel like worried about you and stuff, you know.
I don't want to
But then it's the fact that I know like from her like the way we watched her raise us, she raised three black men to grow up, be strong, you know. I always knew you would be okay. And I'm glad to see you like, you know, you went from dancing to you know, you didn't know what you wanted to do, then you went to JetBlue, then you was like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna be a flight attendant.
Why the hell am
now
I
look
crying?
at you.
This is stupid.
What
did you learn from that?
I learned to always keep my head up and be strong.
Well, that's a great example.
Yeah.
I'm proud that you can learn that from my vulnerability, because that was very difficult for me. I think whenever you have like a childhood trauma, it's always difficult healing.
Yeah.
Because you have to be self-aware about where exactly you are and where you hurt and what's your triggers. And I'm crying now, so I'm always triggered. But I had to learn. It hurts. It hurts. But I've grown, and I'm stronger than I was then.
That's good.
And and I'm okay now. But yeah, I thought you were gonna. That probably was the option.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something else, but I was like, you know what? As soon as you said it, you was like, let it rip. I'm like, all right.
You got permission. Is it my turn or yours?
Yeah, it's your turn.
How were we raised differently, and how do you think it affects our family dynamic?
Well, I could say we were raised differently because I would say you, even though mommy and your father were split up, you still had both of them. You know what I mean? So you can go like on certain holidays, you would go see your dad's side of family, then you would stay with us. But me, it's just like I had mommy. That's all I had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, let me see.
How do you think that affects our family dynamic?
I mean, I don't think it affects our family dynamic though.
I mean, I don't think so either. I think because you have a close relationship with my dad, I mean, he wasn't there
and
for you
we grew up, we lived in the same room
right.
together, so.
We literally shared the same room, same mom. And I think that because, like, my dad's still there for you today if you need anything. I think that it could have affected our family dynamic. But I think that because we had positive role models in our lives, that we figured out a way to make everything work. So interesting. Cheers to our parents, I guess.
Yeah. Thank you, mommy. How am I most like you, and how does that scare you?
I think, I also think, because you've experienced a lot of life like me, totally different. I think you are strong-willed, and that scares me because sometimes I do think that you feel like you know everything.
Yeah.
And I think, and that's scary for me sometimes because I never want to feel like you're unopen to learning anything new. But then when we have conversations, you solidify that that's not correct for me. So, but I think the biggest fear that I have is that you go into things sometimes thinking that you know the answers when sometimes you don't. This is a good one. How would our dynamic be different if I was your younger brother?
That was a good one. Honestly, I would say, damn, that's a, hold on. Whoa, that was a good question. I feel like I wouldn't have took the college route you took, but like trade-wise, you know, I felt like I would have been like either like a foreman or something, like in construction. And then I most definitely would have moved out of Boston. I was tired of Boston. Either like Atlanta or California.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you would have done for me what I've done for you over the years?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I think that I would feel secure because of our mom, that you would have it together enough for me to be okay.
Yeah. Because the way I was thinking that, I know
think so.
The way mommy raised us, it's like,
Yeah, because especially generationally, like if you were 30 and same time and born early 90s, I think our mom was different. She was 30 when she had me, 40 when she had you, so she's a different person, literally. I think that you would be good, and I think I would be okay.
Yeah, I think we would be.
I think I would be okay.
Hold you down.
Did I go last?
Nah, I think it was my turn.
Okay.
When you are the most worried for me and why? When are you the most worried for me and why?
Sometimes when I see you sleep in, I'm the most worried for you.
Sleeping?
You sleep in.
Oh, sleep in.
Because I'm afraid that not that you don't have what it takes to survive here, but I think that you underestimate what it takes to survive here or to be successful here. So when I'm out working out and you don't come or anything like that, that's what I fear is that what if I die tomorrow? Like, you know what I mean? Like, are you going to be able to sustain? Like, would you be able to stay in California by yourself? You know what I mean? Like, if something like that was to happen, would you be okay? I think that's what you fear. Probably.
That's what you fear the most.
That's probably what I fear most. Is who would be your role model if I'm gone?
I would say, if anything, most worried would probably be like, because you're a flight attendant, but you haven't flown in a long time. It would probably be, I would say, when you were in the air.
When I was in the air. What were you worried about when I was in the air?
You never know though. Like me, you never know what happens in planes. You know, it could just go down. You never know.
No, you're right. I mean, I very seldom get worried when I'm on a plane now. But when I first started flying, I would get a little nervous.
Yeah.
Especially when you would have like little air pockets or drops. I think that's because you have no control. You know, there's some things in life that you can control, and I think the fear comes from the idea of not having control over certain things. So it's like I'm in this little tube, and I'm supposed to be courageous for these people, and then we drop, and I'm supposed to control my face to make it look like I'm not scared as fuck inside when I'm shitting bricks. So yeah, I could see why. I think Mummy was very fearful of that too, when she didn't want me to be a flight attendant.
Yeah, she was mad scared.
She was like, "You're not doing it." I'm like, honey, I'm 28 years old. I'm totally doing it. But I think that was what she was most fearful of too. A lot of people are scared. Are you still afraid of flying?
Not really. I mean, no. Nah.
You feel better about it now? Because you were for a little bit.
Yeah, no, because I'm scared of heights, but I'd rather fly than drive any day though.
It's safer. That's what they say, right?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a good one. If we weren't siblings, do you think we'd be friends? Why or why not?
I say yes. Because I think we'd be friends because I love your personality. Even if you weren't my brother, I still would love you for the person you are. Because you're very outgoing, you know, you're very charismatic.
I think it determines.
People person.
Okay, so we would be friends in your eyes. I think that my answer is.
It would depend
on what part of my life.
Yeah.
I think today, yes. I think back in the day, no. And I say that because, one, the age difference. But I think that the way that I was hurt back then, I didn't have the courage to be the way that I am now with straight black men or black men in general. I think that I was hurt so bad that I wouldn't be able to be your friend. You know what I mean? Like, not that you weren't able to be mine, but I think that I weren't capable of being a good friend to you. Yeah. So back then, hell no. But today, of course, my ride or die. Yeah. Last one. Wow. We got deep.
It was good, huh?
This one's intense. So if this were to be our last conversation, what is something you never want me to forget? That's just made me emotional. I don't know why.
If this was our last conversation, what is something you that I'm always here for you, no matter what you're going through. This is a good question. I gotta think. Like there was something to be.
What is happening? I think if this was our last conversation, I would want you to know that you can do anything. Anything. Anything that you put your mind to. Oh, it's weird. You can do anything that you put your mind to when you
work hard for it.
You love. When you love first, when you work hard, and when you give.
Yeah.
If you have that formula, you can do anything in the world. And that's, if there's anything I could teach you, the hell. If there's anything I could teach you, it would be that with love, with a giving spirit, and with hard work, you can accomplish anything.
You basically said it all. But,
Can't even see.
Yeah, just to
Thank you.
Never forget. But yeah, I'll always be here for you. Like I said, like even though I'm a younger brother, but I'm like an old soul. So
Well, if this is our last conversation, you won't be here for me.
Yeah, right. I didn't read the top. Huh? The last
This is our last conversation.
But
So if this is the last time that you speak to me ever, what would you want me to know? What would you want me to never forget?
That's still hard though, cause you basically said it all, huh? But yeah, just to like I was keep saying, like that I'm gonna always be here for you. Never forget that, and I love you. You're my role model. You're like a father figure. You know.
Always. Always, my brother.
Hey, if you are watching that video and you want to ask those questions to your family, visit theskindeep.com/shop to get the And Family Edition.